Thanks for watching today. The topic, contract terms for Unionville's new superintendent. These are common sense thoughts from board member Dr. Paul Price. They are my own thoughts and may or may not represent those of other board members. We're facing very tough times financially because federal and state allocations to our district are drying up. Real estate transfer taxes are way down. Interim taxes are also depressed. Assessment appeals have reduced our tax base. FICA costs are increasing. PSERS rates are set to surge higher by almost 400% over the next 8 to 12 years. And healthcare spending continues to rise much faster than our Act 1 limits. It's likely to get worse. Why do I say that? Because Governor Corbett's first budget proposed large cuts or elimination in FICA reimbursements to school districts. There is no assurance that Pennsylvania is willing or even capable of continuing its policy of reimbursing districts 50% of their PSERS costs. Even without salary increases, our district is facing 3 to 4% in annual cost increases due to various mandated and unfunded expenses. Richer districts such as Unionville are consistently targeted by the state and the feds for many cuts that needier districts may be unable to bear. As I said, we're not flush with cash, so as we conduct our search for a new superintendent, we should consider seeking savings over what we've been paying right now. There are likely many highly qualified applicants willing to work for much less than we're paying at the moment. New Jersey and other states are starting to implement caps on superintendent pay at about the $175,000 level for all but the largest mega-sized districts, such as Newark, New Jersey, or like Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Those might have above cap, but otherwise there seems to be $175,000 maximum that anybody should be willing to pay because this is public taxpayer money. School leadership is important, but they really deserve to be paid more than the governors of the states that they serve? Public service should be a calling to serve rather than a path to great wealth. Few applicants decide to take jobs based on post-retirement benefit packages. This excludes the PSERS pensions, which are very important to both administrators and rank-and-file teachers. But PSERS terms are not set locally. We have no control over that. If post-retirement terms in these deals for superintendents are really deal breakers, are we really looking at the right candidate? If somebody says, I want so much after I retire, maybe that's not the person we should be looking for. Unionville-Chadds funds spent on post-retirement items cannot be used for programs, facilities, or professional services for our students. Since post-retirement packages are rarely the deciding factors for new hires, shouldn't we be looking to eliminate all or most of those as we go forward in our future hiring process? What's in our present superintendent's package? Let's take a look at some of the things that were there from the last board. As presently configured, there are multiple things to consider. The base salary is almost exactly $200,000 a year, and it would have been more if not for Superintendent Sharon Parker's gracious declining of raises over the last couple of years. It was due to be even more. Medical, dental, vision, and prescription coverage subsidies cover 92.5% of the actual cost for the superintendent and all the teachers. District paid life insurance is a perk. 25 days, 5 whole work weeks of paid vacation a year come with the job. A district paid vehicle is available, although, again, Superintendent Parker declined and saved the district some money in that way. 8 years of post-retirement medical coverage was included in the most recent superintendent's contract. I have no idea why that was put in, but it's there, and it's very expensive, and it will cover her after she leaves office this summer, and it's an expense that the current students and future students will have to bear. We paid up to $5,000 in moving expenses for her to relocate to the district. I have no problem with that. We gave her credit for 25 sick days carried over from service to the previous school districts, which was worth approximately $6,250. That may be a fairly standard practice. Here's one that I didn't understand and I brought up at the meeting. Sabbatical forbearance. We're going to pay 33% of the highest final salary, or approximately $66,000, because our superintendent did not take a sabbatical while she was superintendent. I don't understand that, and I think that's a waste of our money, but it's in the contract and we have to pay it. There's an extraordinary generous retirement pension as part of the PSERS, and we'll get to those details a little bit later. The post-retirement costs, 8 years of medical coverage as a single person, should be at least around the $80,000 mark by the time all is said and done. The sabbatical forbearance, as I said, about $66,000. So the net cost of those two items to the district is $146,000 approximately. The benefit to our students, absolutely nothing. What's the real payoff for new hires? The PSERS retirement checks are based on formulas that multiply years of service times 2.5% times the average of the employee's highest 3 years of earnings. New employees hired after July 1st this year will be only getting 2% multiples, not 2.5%. Here's an example to show you what that means. Any Unionville-Chadds School District employee with 32 years of service and a trailing 3-year average pay of $100,000 would see 32 years of service times 2.5% per year, or 80%. As long as they had retained full retirement age, which I believe is 62 or higher, they would get 80% of that $100,000 3-year trailing average, or $80,000 per year in pension payments. For somebody like a superintendent that we pay $200,000 for, let's look what that would mean. That PSERS pension is a staggering number. That same 32 years of service would translate to 80% of $200,000 if that final 3 years of work were completed at that pay level. 80% of $200,000 is $160,000 per year for the rest of that individual's life. $160,000 per year. That's more than most of us dream about. Pension income, on top of that, is not subject to FICA, which is Social Security and Medicare taxes. Pennsylvania law also exempts pension income from state-level income tax as well. So somebody who might have retired at 64 years old would collect about $3.2 million plus any cost of living, what they call COLA adjustments, post-retirement if they live to a normal kind of average life expectancy of 84. Think about that. $3.2 million in pensions after you stopped working. So, what do we take away from all this? The candidates that we're interviewing for superintendent are very bright individuals. They can certainly understand the ultimate payoff when they get a large raise in pay from whatever they were doing before they come here, and they have at least 3 years on the job before they plan to retire. If they're not going to work 3 years, we're probably not looking to hire them anyhow. While the huge jump in pension payments is very real that they're going to experience, nobody, not the candidate or the board, typically uses this factor in evaluating what fair compensation packages need to be in order to get a high-quality administrator. We can certainly find a highly qualified new superintendent without needing to match the current salary package that we've been providing. In this day and age of tight budgets, we need to save money everywhere we can, and I'm certain we can find a highly qualified individual for less than $200,000 a year, and I hope we won't be putting those post-retirement benefits into any new contracts. Talk to your local board members and voice your opinion. You can agree or disagree. Let your current board members know what you think is a fair number for our new superintendent. Thanks for listening. This has been Dr. Paul Price, School Board Director, Region C.